reporter places the blame for all of this squarely on you, the viewers.
Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
It doesn't matter what you think.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Paramedia Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 57. I'm Bryan.
I am Spencer.
It is June 21st. On this day in history, in 1985, the body of Josef Mengele is identified in Brazil.
I don't know if I know who that is.
You probably do, because of your Circle of Evil research.
Oh.
He has a nickname.
What's that?
Angel of Death.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Wait, what was his name?
Josef Mengele. He was the guy who did all the experiments on people.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
He was, I was just reading his wiki page. His wiki page, that's pretty funny. After I saw that was this day in history. So he was at Auschwitz. He was the one who, sorted people.
That's a fun job.
It's a horrible thing to think about. He was, especially interested in identical twins, people with eyes that were two different colors. I can't remember the name of it. Dwarves. Anyway. And he would do weird things, but there's quotes from people who were in Auschwitz who say, how nice he was to children. He'd bring them, candy and stuff.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
within, an hour, he'd kill them.
Oh.
Or hurt them to study.
You always bring the most uplifting stories to the very beginning of the program.
Well, it brings up something very interesting, which is this guy made it to South America.
right.
Yeah. 10 days before the Red Army got to Germany, he was transferred and then sailed to South America in 1949 under a fake name, fake ID, that he got an international passport from the Red Cross. And he went by, Helmut Gregor.
Helmut Gregor?
Yeah. His wife refused to accompany him. They divorced in 1954. In South America, Mengele worked as a carpenter in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He moved to a house of Nazi sympathizers. So have you seen all that stuff?
What?
About South America and the Nazis?
Not a ton.
There's
I've watched. I started watching one of the. It's called Nazi Hunters.
Yeah, and there was
I didn't get too far in it.
I think there was another limited series called Hunting Hitler, because there's a conspiracy that he actually escaped.
Right.
But there's all sorts of bunkers and stuff in South America with the swastika.
Oh, really?
They found Reich money over there, gold. So there's evidence to suggest that Hitler may have made it over there.
Yeah, I guess we never really got his body, huh?
Yeah, we know these guys did.
Right.
So why would these guys make it and the Fuhrer wouldn't? You know what I mean?
It just seems like he'd be too famous to.
It was a different time. You shave off the mustache.
True. I mean, what if you're scrolling through Facebook and then you see Heimlich Hoopfler. Heimlich my balls.
Did you? So, have you seen the pictures of Hitler during World War I? He doesn't have the mustache yet. It's hard to recognize him. They have to point it. Someone has to circle him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you get rid of the greased part and the mustache. Maybe if he grew a goatee, you wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, he does look a little different. Huh?
Anyway, so there is evidence that, because there were a lot of Nazis that they found in South America.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, I was watching a thing.
That's why there's so many white people in Brazil.
Yeah. Sam Donaldson,
Uh-huh.
the journalist, confronted one in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found out where he was through a different investigation. I can't remember who it was, but they called Sam Donaldson to be the reporter on it. And he the guy comes out of his house and he runs towards him. He's like, "Are you a Nazi?" or something like. I can't remember.
Did they arrest him or anything?
I think so. I think they eventually arrested him.
There can't be too many more of them alive.
No, I mean,
they were all older people.
It seems
so.
like maybe 2 years ago they found a guy. He was like 90.
Yeah.
Convicted him of war crimes.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. Weird stuff.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it all makes sense, but yeah.
And there was like evidence that they were going to start the Fourth Reich in South America, or another Reich of sorts.
Fourth Reich, I think, is touring at Warped Tour this year as well.
Yeah. So I've had an eventful couple weeks. My dad's been in and out of the hospital.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this till recently. I guess I missed some Facebook postings.
Yeah, so he was feeling totally fine,
Mm-hmm.
and then within a half an hour, he was completely incapacitated.
Wow.
So they go to the ER, and he's diagnosed with acute pancreatitis.
Which is what?
Just your pancreas is freaking out.
It's just
Yeah, it can be usually
losing
caused
its
by
mind.
it's usually caused by a gallstone, alcohol abuse, tobacco, stuff like that.
None of which I think your dad.
No, and I mean they did imaging. They found he doesn't drink. They didn't find any gallstone, so they don't really know what caused it. But he ended up in the hospital for 6 days.
Whoa.
Just doing pain management basically,
Mm-hmm.
because it's the only treatment is fluids and pain management. That's it.
That's all you need, man.
So, yeah, and then it turned to like necrotizing pancreatitis, where it's actually like eating itself.
What?
Yeah.
Your pancreas is?
Yeah, because your pancreas is what creates bile and stores bile. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Gross.
So anyway, they discharge him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not feeling very well. He's feeling pretty crappy
Mm-hmm.
for like a week, but he wasn't in a good place mentally in the hospital. So they're like, okay, go home. We'll monitor you closely. We'll give you pain meds and other medications to fight infection.
Right.
Because he got C. diff, which you get in the hospital if you're on antibiotics in the hospital, you're probably going to get C. diff.
What is the C. diff?
C. diff is just a crazy spore, a really crappy bug that gives you diarrhea.
Oh.
It can only be killed with bleach.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but we all have it in our system,
Oh.
but our good bacteria kills it.
Well, why don't we just drink some bleach?
Right? Yeah. So anyway, when you get antibiotics, it kills all bacteria, good or bad.
Oh, I
and
see.
then C. diff is the first one to come back. Anyway, whatever. So he's feeling kind of crappy.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, they go to do some blood work and some imaging, okay, like take another picture of his abdomen,
Uh-huh.
and they take some blood. And like 2 hours later, they get a call from, I don't know who, like probably a lab technician,
Right.
saying you need to go to the emergency room immediately because your blood sugar's at like 620, which normal blood sugar is like 90. After 90 after you eat.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's
we were about to record, and I booked it out of here and
Right.
went to the hospital. He was totally fine, in good spirits.
oh,
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like, I don't know.
shaky or something.
Yeah, so they just started administering insulin. Basically, what it means is that, yeah, you have pancreatitis and your pancreas stopped working, which is what creates insulin. So now he has to be on insulin unless his pancreas starts working again, which can take like 8 to 10 weeks to find out if it's going to start working
You
again.
just like jumpstart it or
No, just like,
turn.
it's just like, it's like if you,
Can you plug it?
right, yeah,
plug
you
it back in.
you got to
Have
restart
they
it.
tried that?
Like, I guess it's like if you freaking bang your knee on something,
Uh-huh.
your knee won't work for a while.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same idea. Anyway.
Did he bang his pancreas?
Yeah, he hit it. I punched him, and that's what caused it. No.
Oh. Happy
But,
Father's Day.
In the meantime, I have a couple stories.
Yeah.
They discharge him from the hospital, and they give my mom all these prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're small business owners. They don't have insurance,
Okay.
so my mom goes to fill one of them, and it's a brand name antibiotic.
Okay.
And the pharmacist is like, it's $1,200. And my mom's like, she's like, I got cotton mouth. I started sweating because you have to buy it,
Right.
And she's like, okay. And I guess the farm tech or pharmacist there noticed the stress and was like, hang on, let me try something.
Yeah.
Let me try something. And goes over to the computer and starts typing and comes back, right? And says, I found a manufacturer coupon.
Yeah.
Now, I take Trintelix, right? And it's a brand name, and normally it's like $400, and if you have the coupon, it goes down to $300. I happen to have really good insurance now, so it was only $10. now. But so they put in this manufacturer coupon. It's $1,200. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how much do you think it takes off?
I'm guessing 50% or more.
It went down to $107.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, well, why didn't the pharmacist or farm tech just do that from the beginning? Is there like a spiff?
I don't think that they're supposed to. Like, because
But if you were working there,
well, I know but I don't think they're supposed to. But that's kind of they do whenever they're because they've done that to me, and
Right. Like these people, they're not in sales.
Have you heard of GoodRx?
Yeah. I use that app, and
That's
then
what
my mom
they
uses it.
Yeah, and that's basically what they're doing. It's the same freaking thing, but they won't tell you. But I don't think that anyone in that pharmacy because they don't get any commission. or
No,
anything, not
that would
at
be
all.
that would be messed up. That'd be
Yeah,
unethical.
that's, well, more unethical than our current.
Well, no, but well, yes, because anyway. But yeah, that's the question I have, though. I almost want to do an investigation.
I just think it's against the policy, and they could probably get in trouble if they got caught or something. So they're just like,
But it's like if my mom just happened to download that app and show them, she would have gotten the discount.
yeah, I guess.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know.
It's stupid.
I mean, the whole freaking thing is stupid. So
Like
I
I want
don't know,
to,
man.
I want to interview pharmacists and farm techs now to find out what their training is, because I know that the obviously the drugstore or the grocery store is trying to make a profit. The
Right.
The drug manufacturer is trying to make a profit. I understand that,
Mhm.
but it's an antibiotic.
Yeah, those are normally super cheap.
Yeah. So and then
$1,200.
I know until it goes down to $107.
That's not even like the worst. I was listening to the radio a few months ago, and they were talking about it, and people were calling in with, $20,000 a month prescription.
It's unbelievable.
It's so there's no reason. I know that there's money, but that goes into making them. But the people that own these companies are so rich.
Did you see the House committee talking to one of the CEOs of a big pharma company?
No.
It turns out that our tax dollars
Yeah,
subsidize a lot of the research into these drugs,
of course.
and that the CDC, the federal government, actually holds patents on a lot of the drugs, but doesn't enforce them. They let the drug company enforce them. And so AOC, Cortez, was questioning this guy and brought it to the committee like, the taxpayers own these patents. The company doesn't own these patents. Why are we not enforcing them?
Right.
And obviously the answer is obvious, that there's lobbying, right?
Right.
But that's super shady that she pointed out there. Why are we like the
I'm
first to
just-
find out about
I'm
this?
so burnt out in money and politics.
It's
Like
unreal.
I'm so tired of it, and there's no answer except for
Vote him out. Got to vote. So then today they get discharged, and he has to get insulin. Right? He has to get one that's like long term and one that's short term, and my mom goes to fill those, and one of them is like $400.
yeah.
I'm like, it's insulin. We've had insulin from like I don't even know how long.
Right.
Forever.
No, it's super expensive.
So she looked up GoodRx on one of them, and there's a discount. And the pharmacist says, that's the generic. It's not out yet. Generic? There's brand name insulin still? I don't understand.
Yeah, and the worst part of that is that the generic is typically made by the same company.
Same company.
It just comes out of a different chute in the
Right.
factory. Like it's
I don't understand how there's brand name insulin. Like, what did you discover new? And I know Colorado just passed laws trying to stop those manufacturers from price gouging on life-saving medication.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's just freaking stupid.
It's unbelievable.
It's just I can't understand people who think that our healthcare system is good.
Yeah, it's so broken. That is so messed up.
Like it's so terrible. Like I'm sorry. Tell me how it's good.
Tell
Me someone who thinks that our healthcare system is so great.
Yeah.
Tell me how, because
Tell me why.
I don't go to I can't ever go to the doctor. I don't go because my deductible is so high that I'm never going to pay it
basically
off. So
paying
I have to
cash.
pay cash every time.
Right. Oh, and that's another thing. So we're in the ER, right? and these poor registration people that
Right.
have to come around and talk to you about money. It's awful.
Yeah.
The first time we go, my dad's out. You know, they have
Uh-huh.
him on pain meds. He can't move because it hurts so bad anyway. He doesn't remember it. So I go out of the room and talk with the registration gal, you know,
Okay.
and she's like, for an emergency room visit, if you're a cash payer, you can get 40% off if you pay the day of.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like $4,000 total, $2,000 or whatever. You know, 40% off it ended up being like $2,000 if you pay that now. And that made me think for a second. Why would they do that?
Because it's a pain in the butt to go through insurance.
Yeah.
It's
And
such
on
a
top of
freaking
that,
racket, man.
And on top of that, how many people are going to the emergency room and then leaving and not paying,
Oh, everyone.
right? And so they're like, we'll give you a massive discount,
Oh, I see. What you mean.
huge discount if you just pay before you leave,
Right.
you know? And I was ready to pay, but that was before I knew he was getting admitted.
Okay.
You know, I was like, if he's going to be sent home tonight, then I'll pay you.
Right.
If he's getting admitted, then this is like nothing compared to the final bill, you
Right.
know? So, then they brought it up again last night to us, like, you have 40% off if you paid right now. Like, 40% off. And guess what the deposit was? I just told you. $4,000 for an emergency room visit for a cash payer. You got no insurance,
just so-
$4,000.
It's so stupid. I don't know. I can't think about it anymore.
You can go to Instacare, you pay $100
Yeah.
when you're cash payer. You know, you go to an emergency room, $4,000.
Well, I mean, it's anytime you actually pay cash, they bring the price down. Like you go to the doctor
Right.
and they're like, "Oh, you don't have insurance?" It would be cheaper for me to not have insurance.
Right.
I mean, unless something catastrophic happened, but
That's
even then, like it's
you just don't pay and whatever.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You-
And that's the only reason when because I have low deductible insurance now. My premiums are higher, but it's what my company offers.
Right.
But back when I had high deductible for the majority of my adult life,
Right.
that's the only reason I had it. Was like, well, if I get in an accident and lose my leg,
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
just,
the only
It's
reason.
bothersome because I have. There's plenty of reasons I can go to the doctor. I hurt my shoulder. It's been hurting for years, but I can't afford an MRI. Are you freaking serious? It's like $2,000.
they did pay
Or
cash
more.
for a CT yesterday at McKay
Uh-huh.
up here, and it was only
It's like $20.
no cash. He got labs, so blood drawn and a CT, and they paid like $370.
Oh my gosh.
So you, within reason, you can go
So
get it.
$4,000, but this one-time deal today only
$300.
$50, all inclusive.
And if you do it today, we'll give you another one for free.
Yeah,
Here's a coupon.
call now. Operators standing by.
Oh man. So you know what? Send some good vibes to my dad. So prognosis looks good. We just don't know if his pancreas is gonna restart. You know, we gotta put some primer down in there or something.
What?
I don't know. I was just talking because you were making a gross face at your
I
computer.
was looking at whatever you have next on the rundown, and it looked questionable.
It is very questionable. Man, this is a rough one. So we're switching gears here. This is BuzzFeed. So the title of the article is "The Loophole." He held her down, choked her, and masturbated onto her. The law said it wasn't sexual assault.
I do that all the. Wait, no, what?
So this is in Alaska, and
Well, there you go.
well,
I mean,
hang on.
Sarah Palin made all the rules there.
Right.
That's actually one of her kinks. So
So this young lady was was walking on the road, and apparently in Alaska, it's pretty down homey feeling where people give rides often.
really,
Yeah, I guess.
have you ever seen Alaska State Troopers?
Yes, man. There's some
great show.
intense stuff.
Do you want me? Can I say something really controversial?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alaska has the ugliest people.
That's where we send the uglies. No. Hang on.
All right,
I got
sorry.
no. I want to
I got
talk about something else
sidetracked.
because you brought up Alaska State Troopers.
Yeah.
Have you watched? So there's PD Cam,
Right.
and then now there's First Responders Live.
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
No.
I watched episode 1.
So before, is this stuff all? I don't know why, but for some reason, Cops is the only legit.
So
All the rest are just rip-offs. So are they good?
yes,
Or the PD live ones?
yes, they are good. However, you have to understand they're not really live.
Yeah, that would be horrific.
Yeah.
It could be
They
horrific.
they try to. I think there was a This American Life episode about it actually.
Oh, okay.
Because they, you know how on Cops sometimes people's faces are blurred.
Right.
These guys, PD Live, First Responders Live, get away without blurring faces without a release form because they're saying that it's news. And you don't have to blur people's faces in news. Okay. But anyway, there's a whole This American Life episode about it. I know.
I mean,
But-
whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
So I'm watching First Responders Live.
Yeah.
They have camera crews with firefighters, EMTs, and police officers.
Okay.
And they just kind of go one to one. Right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, here's where this ambulance is driving. Here they're fighting a fire. Here this cop's doing this. And then they also profile the first responders to make you like first responders.
uh-huh.
So I'm watching it, and I like those shows. You know, I like Cops.
I love Cops.
Um,
It's almost a comedy to me, honestly.
so I'm just like eating some chips. I'm like episode 1, you know, and they're like, well, we're going to check in with Lieutenant, I don't know, Johnson. He's
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. He is in pursuit of someone driving recklessly on an ATV.
Ooh.
Okay. And all of a sudden you see he's just driving. You see on his dash cam, ATV comes screaming across the angle in front of him.
Uh-huh.
It's a shirtless guy. Looks like a
Obviously.
pretty nice, like a sporty ATV.
Okay.
Like
so,
four-wheeler.
So it's stolen.
Yeah. And the cop, the guy comes from the left across the cop's angle, right? And goes down the street. The cop turns right to follow him. And they're coming upon an intersection, you know? So I'm just, like I said, I'm just eating chips, taking a drink, you know? And
I don't like where
the
this
cop is
going.
on the radio like, okay, he's just turning down onto, A Street, you know? And you see the guy look to the left like he's checking traffic and kind of looks to the right. And you're like, oh, okay. And then, and the cop's like, oh! The guy got nailed by a car. Nailed. He flew all the way across. It was at least a 3-lane road
Uh-huh.
into the ravine. His ATV is just wheels now.
Right.
You know? And so I'm like, oh my, holy shit. I asked him, did you see that? Like, you don't ever see that shit on Cops. Like, but then it gets even worse. They pan in, a camera crew gets out. And the guy's completely out.
So
and his leg's like,
wait.
his leg is jerking. You ever seen The Rock when the guy dies and the leg is still moving?
But they're still showing this all live.
Yes.
I feel like they would have.
Well, I don't know how.
I'm sure they have a delay or something.
I don't know how quote unquote live any of
Yeah, I
this
need
is.
to look
right?
into that.
But I know from This American Life that sometimes it's even like 2-3 days later.
Yeah.
And they just say this happened a few moments ago.
Right.
But they just zoom in on this guy. He's passed out. He looks dead. His leg is twitching. He has a compound fracture. You can see his bone.
Yo.
I know. I'm like, this is terrible. This is episode 1. You didn't even warm me up to this.
Well, they were probably pretty stoked. I mean, it was probably great for them. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, this is day 1 of filming. You see what we just got? Really, they just paid that guy.
yeah, probably. Okay, we're gonna pay you a lot, but this is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
A
really
lot.
bad. Really bad. You might die because you can't wear a helmet. He wasn't wearing a helmet. Luckily, he landed in the grass. Otherwise, he probably would have died.
Oh man.
First Responders Live, Season 1, Episode 1. Just watch that.
Yeah, I think I will.
Back to Alaska. Okay. Where people often get rides from each other.
Right.
This young lady was walking down the street. A man pulled up, seemed very nice, said, "You want to ride?" And she said, "Sure." He's like, "If you don't mind, we're going to go pick up my other car." Okay, red flag. He has another car. And so he goes down this road, and they're putting stuff into his into his other cars, an SUV, right? Mm-hmm. And she's outside the car, and he just tackles her, chokes her. Let's see. It was daylight on the side of this road. She said that he had no soul in his eyes.
What?
Yeah, he's a 33-year-old married father named Justin Schneider. Is this guy? Let's see. I want to read exactly what she said about it because it was pretty haunting.
Oh. We like to keep things positive here with Nazis and pancreas failures and choking.
He basically said, I'm going to kill you. And he tackled her and he choked her to the point where she thought she was going to die. He didn't touch her in a sexual way, and he didn't force her to touch him in a sexual way, but he masturbated and ejaculated onto her face. And so the last thing she kind of remembers is standing up, and he asks, "Do you want something to wipe that off with?" Okay? He gives her something, a napkin or something, and she wipes it off, but is with it enough to think, I got to keep his DNA, right? So she leaves a little bit like on his face. Yeah, I know, it's nasty.
Gross.
Anyway, they find the guy. Okay.
Okay.
Now the law in Alaska states that it's not sexual assault if there was no penetration, if you weren't forced to touch them, and they didn't forcefully touch you. So he got no jail time and just a simple assault charge.
A simple assault charge?
Yeah.
That sounds like assault and battery or...
Yeah. Let's see what he...
Or...
That's why it's called the loophole, right? Let's see exactly what he... He just drove away, too. He wasn't like... I'm still going to kill you or anything like that, People are calling it the face of white privilege. It's the narrow definition is it has to involve either knowingly touching directly or through clothing the victim's genitals, anus or female breast, or knowingly causing the victim to touch either the defendant's or the victim's own genitals. So because Schneider touched only his own genitals but didn't touch Lauren's or force her to touch his actions didn't qualify as sexual assault.
Sounds
under
like
the law.
She had a bad lawyer or something.
Or he had a good defense lawyer.
I guess.
So, but it turns out, I'm going to turn this map around for you. This is U.S. jurisdictions where the law regards ejaculating on another person as sexual contact or sexual acts. These states are in orange. The vast majority of the country does not consider ejaculating onto someone sexual assault or sexual contact.
Wow.
It's in these states, Utah being one of them, by the way, ejaculating on someone is just the same as spitting on them.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Now that I know.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
I don't. That's. No.
What the? Are you kidding me? Like, this is unbelievable. It's so disgusting.
I don't know what to say.
This guy
Like
this guy is out, man. He's out. This is a sex crime. Why would he not do this again? And now I don't know if Alaska has now passed a law. They're awaiting a signature from the governor.
But there's still all those other states.
All the others. I mean, let's see. Let me count them real quick. The states where it's actually considered a sexual assault is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then there's 3 states, 1, 2, 3, where it's listed either as a dangerous substance, listed as indecent assault, or the law was just passed recently. So that leaves, 37 states where it is just simple assault to ejaculate on someone. Can you imagine? Someone doing that to you?
No.
And they get a misdemeanor assault?
Jeez, man.
And serve no jail time?
That's crazy.
So, if you want to freaking light this guy up, his name's Justin Schneider in Alaska. May God not have mercy on his soul.
He still has Facebook or something?
I don't know. It just has his name. I'm just glad that BuzzFeed listed his name.
Oh, good.
Just a very disturbing
man.
loophole. And I understand why. Our laws are very narrow, and they have to be.
Right.
Because we're stupid. I just don't understand how in 2019, we've had laws now since 1786. Right?
Well, I guess.
And we had laws before that.
Why is this just like coming to light right now. Has this not happened before now?
You know it's happened.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
And
like,
and this girl only came forward because she had her lawyer there when BuzzFeed was there. You know, she talked to her therapist about it, about being in a mental state where you're okay to talk about this.
right.
Now, I don't know if a lot of sexual assaults happen like this. I think most sexual assaults, in one way or another, include the forcible touching one, you know, and so then you can get sexual assault charge.
Right.
This is pretty weird to just choke someone and
Yeah.
masturbate onto them. I mean, all sexual assault's weird, but this is really weird. You know, it's almost like he knew,
Oh, he must have.
you know? So,
Like maybe he's done it before.
of course, you don't get caught on your first time. Sexual predators don't get caught on their first time.
No.
Ever.
No.
Never, like, ever.
I mean, some of them get caught, on their third time, like,
Yeah.
Chris Hansen.
He didn't get caught.
Oh, yeah.
He just stopped paying people.
When he caught, well, that guy that he caught, and then they caught him again. The
Oh,
next
yeah.
day.
Jeez. Oh, my gosh. I'm Chris Hansen.
Why are you here? Have a seat.
Sit right here.
I have that drop.
Just sit right here. And I did share an article on Facebook earlier today of a Baptist preacher. I think it was in Texas.
Yeah.
Who was an unbelievably vocal, very loud advocate, anti-abortion for the right of the unborn child.
Why don't you have a seat?
Have a seat right there.
Go ahead and take a seat.
He just got
Take a seat right over there.
he just got convicted of sexual assault on like I think it's his niece or his younger cousin, to the point where they were having sex multiple times a day.
Gross.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of impressive. But
So this guy,
I don't think I could.
is like writing strongly worded letters and yelling sermons about how the sanctity of life and of young children in the womb. And, oh, by the way, I've been having sex with my 10-year-old. I don't know how she was.
God, man.
Can you believe this?
That happens.
What is happening?
That happens all the time, though. Like, that's not that.
No, it's like the
It's
guy that was caught having gay sex, even though there's nothing wrong with gay sex. But when
he was a staunch.
you're so outspoken against it,
right.
to the point where you have to resign.
Like, I can
because
almost
you got
guarantee
caught.
you that the creator of the straight pride parade, is gay.
I think he is.
He has to
I
be.
actually think he's openly gay, but I think he's like a Milo. In fact, Milo was their spokesperson. Yiannopoulos. Great choice. Like, I'm sure that you're trying to have a normal get together when you have Milo
Right.
join in. It's like, let me. I'm just going to have a normal Republican rally. Alex Jones is going to be the main speaker. Like, you can't.
Is Alex Jones Republican?
I don't know if he's anything,
Okay.
but he does. Yeah, because he hates the left because
Seems to
left are
hate pretty much-
globalists.
Seems like he hates
Yeah.
everybody.
The globalists are going to kill us. All right. Story number 2 that I wanted to talk about. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Okay? It's a human rights treaty which sets out civil, political, economic, social, health, and cultural rights of children. The convention defines a child as any human being under the age of 18, unless the age of the majority is attained earlier under national legislation. All right? It's just general rights. Like, and this is going on with women too. Have you heard of the Equal Rights Amendment?
Yes.
At post women's suffrage, they fought for a bill that was basically very simply stated that women should be treated equally under the law.
Okay, yeah.
The 14th Amendment kind of lays that out, but it was more defined as people born in the United States. It didn't define gender anywhere.
Right.
The Equal Rights Amendment has never been ratified.
Oh.
We're waiting on one more state.
Who?
It takes 2/3 of the states.
Oh.
Guess who's not one of them?
Here?
Utah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So it takes, if one more state ratifies this law, then it would go into effect. It would be an amendment to the Constitution. It's not a law. It's an amendment that says women should be treated equally under the law.
Right.
How is this not? I don't understand. There's no amendment in the Constitution. There's no language in the Constitution that says women should be treated equally under the law.
Well, there's nothing in the Constitution that says they shouldn't either, right?
No, but that's the whole point, you know? Like, I think it was Scalia was interviewed about it, and he said that there's no language that protects women to be treated equally.
If I
under the
was
law.
playing devil's advocate, that would be my argument, is that there's nothing that says,
Right.
so why add something?
Well, there was nothing that said that
Yeah.
black people should be slaves in the
Well, yeah.
Constitution. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm frustrated for women.
Oh, for sure.
That's stupid. So anyway, back to the child treaty about the rights of children, okay? It deals with the child-specific needs and rights. It requires that the nations that ratify this convention are bound to it by international law. They must act in the best interest of child. In all jurisdictions, implementing the convention requires compliance with child custody and guardianship laws, as that every child has basic rights, including the right to life, to their own name and identity, to be raised by their parents within a family of cultural grouping, and to have a relationship with both parents even if they are separated. Obligates states to allow parents to exercise their parental responsibilities. Just basic stuff. Forbids capital punishment for children. Okay? It doesn't make a reference to corporal punishment, but it does talk about mental, physical violence, that kind of stuff. Okay? Every single country in the world, 196 countries that are eligible to sign this, okay, signed it in like I think it was in the 80s, some of them in the 90s. Every single country except for, what do you think?
Oh, it's the U.S. I have the map pulled up.
The United States of America.
There's like some random small...
The headquarters of the United Nations. The United Nations was founded here. It's known as the League of Nations first.
Right. Yeah.
Rights of children? Iran signed this thing. Like, every country. Congo. They have, you know, not everyone's abiding by it, and they get sanctioned a lot by the UN.
Look at us.
You know, they have,
Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan.
like all of Central Africa, where they have
Saudi
like
Arabia.
child slaves doing, you know, violence, like military stuff.
Uh-huh.
What? How is this possible?
What reasoning do we have any, or who needs this, or what is the process, I guess?
The United States government played an active role in drafting the convention and signed it on the 16th of February, 1995, but has not ratified it. It has been claimed that American opposition to the convention stems primarily from political and religious conservatives. For example, the Heritage Foundation sees, quote, a civil society in which moral authority is exercised by religious congregations, family, and other private associations is fundamental to the American order. So it should be religions, families, and other private organizations that have moral authority over children, not the government. And then the Homeschool Legal Defense Association argues that the CRC threatens homeschooling because every child's entitled to an education under the treaty.
How does that threaten homeschooling?
I have no idea. You know, it's a weak argument. The United States had permitted the execution and life imprisonment of juvenile offenders in contravention of the Articles 37 of the Convention. The 2005 Supreme Court landmark decision in Roper v. Simmons declared juvenile executions to be unconstitutional as cruel and unusual. In 2012, the court held that mandatory sentences of life without the possibility of parole are unconstitutional for juvenile offenders. 2012, the court decided, hey, you know, life without the possibility of parole for someone under the age of 18 might not be the best thing.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Let's see where Roper v. Simmons was. 2005. So the Supreme Court didn't decide until 2005 that it was unconstitutional to execute a juvenile.
Wow. Huh. Well, I don't know. That just kind of comes back to we're too big. We're too big of a country. We've got too many opinions. And
every other country in the world has agreed to this convention. I'm not saying they're all
that's what I'm
following.
saying. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that there's too much diversity here, it's like there's too much diversity. That sounds terrible. There's
believe-
too much diversity.
That's freaking Laura Ingram. Yeah. I
We need
believe
to get rid of everybody. That's not what I
diversity-
meant. I don't mean that there's too much here, but what I mean is because there is so much here,
we can't find common
we
ground.
can't seem to find any common ground, and then this stuff all just gets pushed, kicked along.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this
I'm
is
not
the only
saying-
thing that. What did we talk about a couple months ago that was something that seemed ridiculous? Anti. Hate,
Faxers.
no.
Oh,
no,
hate
no.
like hate crimes?
Yeah, hate crime laws and
Yeah. Yes. That they just some states don't even have
right,
they didn't want to up the ante for hate crimes.
right.
So, and that was in Utah.
Yeah,
It was if you beat someone up,
mm-hmm.
you normally can up the charge and the sentence if you can prove that it was a hate crime, say against a religious minority, LGBT, black, Mexican, right? And people in Utah were saying you shouldn't be punished more for your beliefs.
Well, that's
no.
kind of
If you believe
a
that,
weak argument.
yeah, if you believe a woman is less than you, and so you beat her up for it, that shouldn't be the same as just a simple assault.
Right.
Same with ejaculating on someone's face. That's ridiculous. By the way, I believe diversity is an old
I
wooden
don't
ship
think we-
used in Civil War times.
This is probably a record for us on the use of the word ejaculation. On
Yeah, I don't
this
think I've ever
podcast.
said it before on the podcast.
I thought you were going to say in real life.
In real
I don't
life.
think I've actually ever said it before.
No, that's not the preferred nomenclature in my house.
Oh, gross.
Oh man, that's good. Let's probably take a break.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hold
Oh,
on.
you know what? By the way,
Yeah.
if you guys haven't checked out the Teacher Vet podcast,
Oh yeah.
go check that out. Teacher-Vet.
I had to redo their banner.
This episode, I saw that you had him add a bird.
I
So they-
added the bird.
you added the bird.
Yeah.
Um,
He was like, I was like, I noticed there's no birds on your banner, and he was like, ha ha ha. Photoshop went in for me, so I did like within 5 minutes.
nice. Yeah. This week's episode is pretty cool. They talked about the women's history in veterinary medicine.
How was the one on?
Heartworm was gross.
Heartworm.
It's gross. All right. Also, go listen to the Minutia podcast on SoundCloud. That's with Scotty, who's been a guest here. Talks about living by design because he's an architect. And he has a cool guest. I think I mentioned it last time, the Hobbit House in Provo, Utah.
New Zealand?
No, not Bilbo's house.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. Minutia podcast and Teacher Vet. Go listen to him.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I've got some random headlines. I do not remember what they are because I picked them all out yesterday.
And they're random.
They are actually, if I remember correctly. When we come back, meow, sir.
Do you sometimes feel irritable, restless, uneasy, sad, normal, or just plain not high? Maybe it's time to try crack. Crack may cause shivers, night terrors, gay for pay, heart palpitations, homicidal paranoia, or the sensation that you're on fire. Peeing blood and seeing friends' faces as talking skeletons are possible side effects of crack. People who use crack may also experience 5 to 7 years in prison where brutal raping may occur. If you experience one or more of these side effects, consult your dealer. You may need more crack. Crack. Isn't it time you see what all the fuss is about?
This is the Our Take Podcast. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
I want to meet our voiceover guy in person.
I can't remember where he lives. I don't know if it says on Fiverr.
Probably like Japan. He just does a really good American accent.
Oh,
Random headlines.
don't tell me to sign in. I was gonna look and see where he's at, but
I'll start with a random.
okay.
Can I start?
Yeah, I mean that's completely unorthodox, but I mean,
You'll
whatever.
you'll be
I guess,
excited about
which is
this one.
still my thunder.
The Trump
You
administration.
know what? No.
This storm will kill you. It will kill your children. It will kill your pets.
All right.
And everyone you know who wants to mess with it.
The Trump administration has admitted to climate change.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not.
Well, they're not going to do anything about it.
They said Arctic warming has led to the loss of sea ice, which is going to open up new opportunities for trade.
Oh.
Can you believe it? They admitted to it.
We can start trading with the
Inuits.
with all the penguins and stuff on the North and South Pole.
There's no penguins on the North Pole, but it's cool.
I've got a North Pole for you right here.
Only on the South Pole,
It's a
people.
South Pole.
Yeah, polar bears and narwhals. Freaking narwhal is an alien.
Are you sure there's no penguins on the North South? Wait, what?
North Pole. They're all on the South Pole.
I'm not Googling it, but
I can see your hands slowly typing. There's no polar bears on the South Pole.
Number 9, there are no penguins at the North Pole, but there are no penguins living. Wait, blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, fine.
No polar bears at the South. No penguins at the North. Just penguins and polar bears. Bears. That's just how you remember.
Then Scamper the penguin lied to me because I'm pretty sure they get attacked by a polar bear.
Well, I mean, maybe he, was dropped in. Operation Dumbo Drop.
Well, speaking of, wait, what? Speaking of Arctic creatures and sea life, 3 seals.
Navy SEALs?
No, seals. Seals, apparently, can copy human speech and sing Star Wars themes.
No.
Only Star Wars. No, I'm just joking.
Tell me you have audio.
I do, of course.
Yes.
The new study said, I've listened to it, and it's
just like,
don't get too excited, but
I totally hear the Imperial March there.
let's see. Researchers at the University of St. Andrews have trained 3 gray seals, that's racist, to copy sound sequences, resulting in several note renditions.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how their race matters here. Like, why are you mentioning that?
Gray lives matter, man. All right. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and the Star Wars tune. The marine mammals were also found to be able to copy human speech sounds, including vowels. Lead researcher Amanda Stansberry said she was amazed at how well the seals were able to mimic the sound. She said copies were not perfect, but given that these are not typical seal sounds, it's pretty impressive. So, let's listen to some of these seal sounds. That's not the seal. That is. That was the seal.
That was the seal?
The first one was a beep.
When you're making a video,
That's not the seal. This is.
that's not bad.
Yeah?
When you're making a video that's going to feature seals singing, don't put a backing
Yeah,
track
I know.
in there.
It's completely unnecessary. I don't know who these people are, but I hate them.
It's really distracting.
Hold on. See?
It really is like trying to teach a little kid a tune. I'm out. Jumps in the water.
That was it. He's saying hello.
Oh,
Did you hear that?
yeah. That's like that's alien, man.
I don't see anything in this article that talks about why the heck they're doing
No.
this.
What do you do for a living? I teach seals.
I teach
Twinkle,
seals to
Twinkle,
sing Star
Little
Wars. What do you like?
Well,
is that-
because once we teach them, we sell them to SeaWorld.
is that what it is?
No, absolutely not. That'd be horrible.
Like, what I want to know what this is. This militarizing seals, like that militarized whale.
That whale, that surveillance whale.
Yeah,
dude, that's weird.
That may have been the same whale that brought up that person's cell phone.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
All right. The next story here is out of somewhere in the U.S. Anyway, so when you were a kid,
yeah,
did you ever play in the car?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just pretend like you're driving.
Oh yeah. My mom would put me on her lap and I'd steer.
Okay. When you were 4 years old, do you think that there is any chance that you could have driven a car?
No. I was too small.
Panicking.
Okay, so
Where are you going? Do you know?
I hit this gas brake and like that.
Oh my gosh.
Where were you going?
To the gas station
How come?
because I have reasons.
Panicking, anxiety.
he just said that like that guy was a complete idiot.
Because I love Reese's.
Because I want a Reese's. Are you an idiot?
You're an idiot.
How stupid are you? There's Reese's at the gas station, so obviously I stole the keys and I took the car to the gas station to get a freaking Reese's. What the hell is this? Why are we having this interview? Get out of my face. That's what a 4-year-old would say if
He'd
he
go
had
steal
to,
the news van.
Yeah. So what happened is this kid took his grandpa's car and took it to the gas station to try to get a candy bar.
Good for him.
A Reese's.
That's initiative.
I do not believe he actually made it. Oh, it's in Minnesota. I do not believe he actually made it to the gas station.
This guy's going to go far. This kid's going to go far.
Right?
He's got initiative. He's got ingenuity.
He does have initiative.
Yeah.
Like he's not waiting. He's
He
like,
can think.
I can drive now.
Yeah.
Why do I need to wait 12 more years?
He has a problem on his hands. He figured out a solution.
Yeah.
And he took action.
Yeah, even though it wasn't like a,
I like this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my hero.
I want him. Oh, I'm going to have to take that out.
What else you got?
Well, this has been circulating around, so it's not really that random. But have you seen the picture of the Starfleet logo spotted on Mars?
No, I remember the face.
This is a picture of some sort of a rock formation on Mars.
That can't be real.
It is.
Is it on NASA?
Yes. It's by a NASA probe. A NASA spacecraft has spotted curious shapes on the surface of Mars, closely resembling the Starfleet logo from the sci-fi hit TV show Star Trek. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, captured images of a series of chevron-style contours on the surface of the red planet. The intriguing discovery was highlighted by the MRO HiRISE, that stands for High Resolution Imaging Science Experiment, camera team at the University of Arizona.
Did you ever notice that the NASA logo even has a Starfleet-ish?
Yeah, it kind of does.
This little triangle,
Yeah.
little wisp.
It's true. I wonder when that was made, before or after Star
That's
Trek.
incredibly specific, though. Like, to find that.
The shape?
That's weird.
I'm telling you, man, Star Trek, it's
born out of truth.
Yeah. That's why it's one of my favorite sci-fi.
It's born out of truth to come.
Well, yeah. That's why I like it so much. Star Wars takes place in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and there's just war and it's terrible. Star Trek actually paints a pretty good picture for us.
The long time ago thing
in
Star Wars always kind of bugged me.
Why?
Because no one's really thinking about it like that.
Well, it wasn't a galaxy far, far away. It doesn't ever say it's in our galaxy.
No, I'm okay with a galaxy far, far away.
Right.
I don't know about a long time ago.
Right.
I mean, the Fermi paradox would indicate that maybe it's possible and plausible that it was a long time ago.
Wow. This soda I left in your basement's actually pretty cold.
Yeah, it's cold down here. What is that, Coke?
This is Coke with ginger lime. It's one of their special flavors.
What's a ginger lime?
I don't know.
Or is it ginger lime?
It's something to do with a redhead, and I don't know. Anyway, They came in these special cans. I've got a whole collection going here.
Yeah.
But I think they picked their favorite of the special flavors and started
They got like the skinny Red Bull.
mass producing them. So here it is in a regular.
I bought the freaking like tall tea the other day, like in a aluminum can.
Oh, okay.
Those are huge. Like it was only 99 cents.
Really?
And you like a Mountain Dew Kickstarter.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking
They're,
about. Sorry.
they're so tall, like a tall
when
Arnold.
you said tea,
No, it's like a
I was
raspberry.
thinking letter T.
I bought a letter T to drink.
Oh, my God.
Hey, all right. Proof of concept. Is that what it's called?
What the hell? I'd like to buy a tall tea, Pat.
A big tea. No, proof of concept here.
Yeah.
A tea drink
Yeah.
in a bottle that's the shape of a tea.
Yeah. I don't know how you drink it.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's
Just-
it's what's the word? Kitschy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. It's an iced tea.
Yeah. That's
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Love it.
Oh.
Any more random headlines?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, we are going to do a new segment
Oh.
to wrap up our shows.
We're done already?
Yeah. Unless, you want to pick a number?
Hold on. No.
Okay.
I swear we had one other thing.
No, that's it. That's it. Those are
Did
the-
you want to talk about did you want to talk about the Arizona? I don't really want to, but if you do.
Arizona.
The arrest, the violent. I thought I saw that on here at some point.
Like a race one?
Yeah, you've seen
Oh,
it.
yeah. The one where the
kid stole the doll and
my gosh. This is a situation that every parent could find themselves in at any time, where a child picks something up.
Well, have you read everything about it? Because it's definitely getting one-sided.
What do you mean?
Well, they legitimately stole that, and he stole something else too.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not saying that merits the force that they were using.
No. So if you're not,
but
you're-
it wasn't an accident, I guess is what I'm saying.
if you're not familiar with what happened, these guys, this family, they're African American with 2 small children,
And
were
pregnant.
and she's pregnant. We're in a Family Dollar. The original story said that the young daughter, who's like 4, picked up a doll, but you're saying that they actually did shoplift.
Yeah, he stole some underwear.
Okay.
And then that kind of leads me to believe that the doll was given like here,
Possible. Yeah.
So I don't know.
So whatever manager or someone called the
there
police.
was he was like really resisting or something too. I can't remember.
So the
But-
video picks up. It doesn't pick up right away, but there's 2 things happening. One, they have the husband separated in handcuffs, and the first thing that grabbed me in the video was that the cop is yelling at the top of his lungs to spread your legs to the man, and they are like way more than shoulder width apart at the time.
Right.
And he's still yelling, spread your legs. And then it not pans, but it goes to a different body camera of another cop who has the woman in the passenger seat of the car at gunpoint. The door does not open from the inside.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that she doesn't want to put her hands down, and she's also holding an infant.
Right.
The cop has her at gunpoint, taking cover behind a wall, yelling, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to cap you. Get out of the car. All this stuff. And she's saying back, I have a child in my arms. I can't open the door from the inside. They eventually get her out, and they try and tear the baby from her arms. I don't know why. It's not like they needed to place her in custody. They didn't even arrest him, man.
Did they not?
No.
No, that's not really an arrestable charge.
Yeah, they just it was pretty egregious, and I know that this is exactly what people are expecting me to say.
Mm-hmm.
This would not happen to a white family.
I
I have yet to see
probably
body
not.
camera footage of a white family or even a white man being treated this way.
I can't think of anything offhand.
Please feel free if you have footage of a police officer mistreating someone who's a white person to this extent of these videos where they're holding a pregnant woman who's holding an infant at gunpoint through the windshield.
What do you think about the amount of their lawsuit? Do you know what it is?
10 million?
Yeah.
Any lawsuit about this is, in my opinion, there isn't a lot of what is a society to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't sue for I want these men fired.
Right.
The only thing you can sue for is money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a settlement, the department could say, hey, can we pay you nothing or this and also fire the police officers? You know?
Right.
This is yet another example that we've shared on this podcast of cops who shouldn't be cops.
Right.
If you can't handle the pressure, if you get worked up that much to the point where it's almost, like Rodney King style, someone's cuffed and you're still kicking them. If you can't do that, I understand. If I was chasing someone who just tried to kill me or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have a hard time not beating the shit out of them. That I'm not a cop.
Right.
So this is just another example of that. And I don't understand these police chiefs who don't just immediately fire these guys.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I always try to be sympathetic to the police because
I love cops.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Well, I don't know.
And then there's another one of a kid being held at gunpoint by 8 cops in Denver with assault
Right.
rifles, and he's on his knees, and he's 17,
Right.
Maybe not even.
It's just, well, I don't know. I mean, guns drawn. It has to be an overreaction. I mean, I don't know what really spurs that kind of overreaction, but
I think that dispatching needs to be looked into more.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have an amped manager calling 911 saying we were just robbed,
right,
that's a lot different than saying, hey, we just saw someone shoplift, right? Now, you get a call over the radio saying robbery in progress versus, hey,
that's true.
shoplifting just happened.
Whenever I worked at the grocery store and I never called 911 for shoplifting. I'd call dispatch and I'd be like, hey, some guy just walked out. If you guys want to pick him up.
But if you were amped,
it was no big deal until he went crazy and started kicking out the police's car door, and then it was an episode of Cops.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But if you were amped as a manager and said, we're getting robbed.
Well, yeah.
Right? Not knowing the difference between robbery and petty theft. Or larceny. I think that needs to be looked into more. I don't think people ever have, because that should be a question to the cop. Why were you so amped? What set you over the top?
Right.
In all seriousness, what was it that got you over the top? Was it because this other cop over here was yelling and so it affected your stress level, so that's why you're yelling at the woman? Or was it the call over the radio?
Have we heard anything in the defense of the cops at all? Because I'd just be curious what people had to say to defend them. I know that if I was playing devil's advocate, I'm sure an argument would be, well, it wouldn't have happened had they not stolen.
Absolutely. And I totally agree. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't stolen. But the point that let's take this story out of its context and say, I have a 3-year-old daughter.
Right.
I could see very easily her picking something up.
Oh, yeah.
And she's already hidden stuff.
I think
not
I
in
did
a
that
store.
once.
It's I think Ashley was asking her to give something back, and she hid it in her shirt.
Can I tell you that anytime I saw that happening at Smith's, I didn't say anything. I just I don't care, dude.
Whatever.
Who cares?
My point is that if Ashley and I were shopping with Quinn, and Quinn walked out with a doll, first of all, I think the manager would probably just approach us. Right?
Right.
And even if they didn't, if they called the police, and even if they called the police and said, we just got robbed by white man, red hair, little girl, I don't think the cops would come with guns drawn.
Well, as many times as I called the police in Provo, I called them a lot, and the only time that ever happened was one when the guy got shot in the back of our house. But he had a gun, and the other was when the guy was insane and started kicking out the police door
Right.
and yelling about Obama or something. But
Like I feel for police officers. I shared the knife story when I accidentally had the box cutter on my lap. Remember?
Right.
Like I feel for them, and I understand exercising caution and prudence. But when you're screaming at a woman who's holding a child and she's trying to yell back, "I can't open the door,"
I think
like,
what the hell? I think what I think must happen is because if you get really angry, you just kind of and you start yelling like that, you just keep repeating you don't really have
Right.
much of
right. You're losing your cognitive ability. At that
Right.
point. You're so much adrenaline,
Right.
which is what training is supposed to inhibit.
right.
Your training as a police officer is supposed to inhibit the rush of adrenaline that would lead to poor judgment.
I'm going to show you another police video here out of Oklahoma. I don't want to tell me what you to tell me what you would do. It's actually not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but
Cop getting out.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get
Oh shit!
so he got on the ground.
One of them got on the ground. So there's two suspects.
Yeah.
One on the ground. One they're on a bridge.
Yep.
One was hanging from the bridge by his hands, and it looked like he slipped.
He did.
And the cop just kind of didn't really say anything. He's probably in shock.
Well,
that would be pretty
if
shocking.
you continue to watch the video, the cop, as soon as he's got people, he goes and runs down there and helps him.
Because he has this other guy at gunpoint, probably, to get him
Right.
subdued.
And
So-
then as soon as he sees,
Is it a bridge over water?
No, it's
It's just a viaduct.
yeah.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
running like Tom Cruise here.
It does. Do you know? It looks like Doom.
It does. Huh? It looks like a video game. I always thought that didn't look very realistic, but turns out,
Yeah, they had it spot on. Okay, so he's running down
yeah, he
the
does.
bridge.
He throws his gloves on. I think the guy does live. 'Cause
Really, that's a long drop, man. I mean, he's
It's
running down
not-
an on ramp.
It's not that.
Oh, okay, it
It's
looks
not
like what
that
20
bad.
feet.
Yeah, it's not.
And onto grass.
Because I'm guessing this guy was thinking about jumping down to begin with.
Oh, and he
just-
landed on grass, so he missed the road by like 10 feet.
No, he didn't.
Oh
I
no,
don't
no,
think he did land
Look
on
at
grass.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so people, there is the road and then grass and a gutter in the middle of the grass that's
Yeah.
made of concrete. He landed right in the gutter, and that he's posturing. I don't know if you know that's when you start to pass out or die,
Uh-huh.
and you go in like Velociraptor.
Oh, I didn't
it's
know
called
that.
posturing. Sometimes you see it when people faint. It's just the brain saying we need to move everything to the center.
Right. So I don't know.
He's not even bleeding, so it didn't look like he racked his head or anything. Oh, skull! He did get a skull fracture. It didn't even look like blood there.
Shooting with the intent to kill.
Oh man,
geez.
you
So,
should share that. So
yeah. So that's
I don't know what I would do.
if you were the cop, right? You're like,
Yeah.
get on the ground. Get on. Oh, he just got on the ground.
jumped off the bridge. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, back to everything. Like, I understand the climate in which we live and cops exercising caution. I watched a horrifying video that was the other way around.
Yeah.
Of the guy on the bus.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
So it was a man who was dying from a
so
heroin.
random that he.
Right, he was dying from an opiate overdose.
Uh-huh.
Fire department and police officer get there. They administer Narcan, which Narcan removes all endogenous and foreign pain relieving dopamine. Like it hurts.
Right.
Everything in your body starts to hurt, so you become really irritable. So this guy wakes up. The firefighter and the police officer are talking to him, and the cop didn't pat him down, which I understand. I get that. You're just trying to save his life,
Right.
But he sees a bulge on his right hip, and he asks the guy what it is, and the guy gets kind of defensive, like, I don't like people touching me, don't touch me. And then out of nowhere, he unclips a gun and is able to pull the slide back and chamber around before the cop is able to get his gun out, and he shot and killed the firefighter.
Yeah, he killed a firefighter and he did hit another officer.
Yeah. And then he used someone as a human shield.
Yeah, he did. He used, and she got shot. But she didn't die, but she got shot
Probably
in the
by
crossfire.
a cop.
If
'Cause
you
the
watch
cop-
the video, it kind of seems like maybe.
It looks like the cop was taking him out while he was like picking her up to
Right.
use her. Anyway, it was a horrifying video, and this is the thing we have to find is the medium between horrifying situations like that where they can turn so quickly
It
and
did.
exercising caution.
Because I watched that video and I was like, what is
I watched
happening?
one on PD cam where a cop, it was, not that it matters, it was a black cop chasing a black man. And they weren't running. They were kind of briskly walking next to each other. The cop was just behind and to the right of the guy. And he had a big coat on. And the guy was looked like he was on his cell phone. He was holding a phone.
Yeah.
And he kind of kept looking back at the cop while the cop was ordering him to stop, get on the ground, I'm going to tase you.
I thought you were going to say the guy was ordering a pizza.
Pepperoni. I'll be there in 10. Yeah. And just out of nowhere, he whips out a gun and shoots the cop. And the cop lived.
Right.
But it was unbelievably fast. And so I see those situations and I say, okay, I understand, you know, but then I wonder how much of that leads to then, you know, implicit bias or profiling. And then there's arguments both ways with profiling.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, when I see an extended situation where they're yelling at that woman for probably a good 90 seconds, which is a long time, and it's clear that his adrenaline is not coming down to the point where he tries to rip the child out of her arms. Like, what would you do? What would I do if a cop was trying to rip Quinn from my arms? No. There's no reason you need to do that right now.
Right.
Why are you here? What's the problem?
Right.
I'm holding a baby. It's not like I can have a gun. You know?
Right.
The husband is in cuffs, like 100 feet away. It just seemed like a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah.
Due to an adrenaline rush that his training couldn't calm down.
Speaking real quick, since we were talking about Phoenix, this is actually pretty new news here. Just happened today.
Man brawls with TSA.
Yeah. So this is at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport.
That'd be scary as hell if you were in that line, dude. You don't know if those guys are wearing a bomb.
That's true. What the hell? What is this ad for?
know.
Will I leak when having sex?
That is
Kind of want to click on it, but
I kind of want. Let's watch this first. Let's see will I leak when having sex? I don't know.
like out of your ears or your I don't know.
I don't
We got
know.
a Verizon commercial here.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Not that Verizon isn't the one saying will I leak when I have sex.
Oh, and this says ambushes TSA agents.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he pushed that woman over.
He just goes
Oh my
freaking
gosh.
crazy, man. I've never seen anything like that before.
He looks like. Oh man, that lady got punched too. He's going after the women. Look at she's out cold.
Yeah.
He looked like what I would look like if I was doing ultimate fighting.
I know, right?
I would just go nuts, and that's what
I
he was
closed
doing.
it. Guess we won't
He was
know.
going crazy. That's
That was weird. All right. Now we have a new segment.
We do.
Now that we've talked about whatever.
Closing arguments from the Arctic podcast. We're going to talk about our closing arguments about the HOV lane. We've talked about this several times.
Uh-huh.
And crossing the double white line is just an egregious exercise in bad taste. Listen. If you missed the opening, that's on you.
It is.
That's on you.
It's on you.
You don't get to
just break free. And I'm sitting there in the left lane, stuck in traffic, waiting for an opening. Okay?
You did your civic duty.
Not only that, but I bought a pass.
Yeah.
So I can go in there as a single person.
We got the toll.
And 3 cars behind me all cross the double white line. I don't think any of them had double people.
The
in the
level
car.
of entitlement to think I missed the opening, but I'm stopped here. You know? And I'm not sure which one pisses me off more. When someone crosses the double white or when someone's burning down the emergency lane. Like when you're stopped and someone pulls in the emergency lane. The only one that one gets me because I think about emergency personnel maybe trying to get somewhere.
Right.
You know, I'm like, if that was your sister up there,
right,
and someone pulled out in front of the ambulance and blocked it, oof.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the argument being,
is there an argument?
If you aren't prudent enough to get in the opening when it's there, if you can't plan ahead 30 seconds. Have Google Maps open. It'll show you where traffic turns red.
Yeah, it will.
It's very accurate.
It will.
And you can say, hey, it's turning red soon. I should probably take the next opening into the express lane.
You know, there's no enforcement either.
No.
There's none. They don't do anything. I swear that once a month, the highway patrol comes out, pulls a few people over, does one of their quote-unquote blitzes, and then it's anarchy every other day.
And do you think that the level of hypocrisy?
Oh, of course.
Because they're pissed when they see someone else do it.
Oh, for sure.
If they're flying down the express lane and someone cuts them off with the double white, not even cuts them off, just goes in over the double white,
right?
They're pissed.
Oh, for sure.
But then they do it the next day because they didn't plan.
Right.
Plan for the double white.
If
there should be razor blades.
I agree.
On the double white.
Some places do that.
Yeah.
In Dallas they had a zipper. Have you ever seen a zipper before?
No.
It's so the big cement blocks,
like a K-rail.
Sure.
Like the ones that divide a median.
Yes.
Yeah, they're called K-rails.
Okay. There's a zipper. It's called. It comes in and it moves them from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Now they don't have that in all of them because they realized how freaking ridiculously expensive and stupid it was.
When they redo our freeways, they have them sometimes.
Right.
So they'll move them for traffic flowing one way.
Right.
And then in the afternoon they move them back.
Right.
Yeah.
And other places in Dallas just have white poles sticking up.
Yeah.
Which actually, if you get stuck in one of them,
California, they have like 5 rows of the little bubbles.
Right.
So it's like really obnoxious to drive over.
If someone at the highway patrol told me, hey, if you get a picture or a video of someone doing this, we'll ticket them, I would put cameras at every single angle of my car.
It wouldn't need to be video. There is no reason, even in a still shot, for you to be straddling the double white line.
Right. That's true.
You're ruining it for the rest of the people and the people who pay their toll.
I pay. So why do all these... Anyway, I'm getting too fired up.
That's our closing argument.
Yeah. One real quick thing before... you know how I have a couple posters with demotivational statements on them?
Yeah.
Like, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, but it's probably just a train. So, one of my coworkers, because we fly for free, and he was trying to get to Brazil, but he didn't make it. And he gave me... He went through this whole ordeal to try and make it and didn't get there.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he said, it was a great quote, "The worst part about it is that we tried." And I was like, I'm going to put that on your headstone, man.
That is, that's the name of this episode. The worst part about it is that we tried. Because nothing's worse than when you try and it still doesn't work.
He didn't. I don't know. He didn't. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. But he was just like, "What did I say?"
Oh,
like,
man.
I don't know, man. That's
a
pretty
good one.
amazing.
And you designed a new solar system, which is freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I need to get that.
That poster's cool. Anyway, find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends. Tell them the funniest or the part of the episode that pissed you off the most. Whatever. Anything at all. But for the Our Take Podcast, episode 57, I'm Bryan.
I am Spencer, and the worst part about it is that we tried.